Welcome back to Black Talk Today podcast, and I'm your host, Troy. It is July 2nd, 2021, and the year's going by pretty quick, man. Just the other day, I feel like it was January 1st, and we just got into 2021, but now it's July 2nd. A couple of days, going to be the 4th of July, and it's going to be a big celebratory day for everyone in the nation. Or at least you should celebrate it and enjoy it for what it is. And look, man, it's been hot too, man. The last couple of days, over 100 degrees. Jesus Christ. What is going on with the world? Is it global warming? I don't know. But it's been hot. Hell, my air conditioner has been running like it's no tomorrow. But that's neither here or there. We're going to be talking about Olympian Chakirra Richardson. And if you don't know, now you know, baby. Shout out to Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G. Took that line from your brother. Besides, that's the only Christopher I acknowledge. Anyway, but yeah, Miss Richardson has been recently removed, pretty much suspended from the Olympic team due to the fact that she tested positive for marijuana. She could not stay off the weed. How pathetic is that? How sad is that? Ms. Richardson also was in the headline news over a week ago due to the fact that while the national anthem was being played and her fellow Olympians decided to acknowledge the national anthem, and you know what you normally do. Protocol, guys. You turn, face the flag, you cross your heart, and you sing that anthem. You're representing this nation, and that's the appropriate right thing to do. Like, I don't understand these athletes, right? At this particular level, when you're an Olympian, when you're representing the nation against other nations, I would just assume that whatever protest that you feel is more important than that at the moment would just be something that would be a thought of, that you would think of after the national anthem, right? This isn't some American pastime sport such as the NFL or the NBA. That's not on a national, worldwide scale where everybody across the world is watching. No, this is the Olympics, right? Everyone's watching. So you want to represent your nation. You want to see unity. You want to see pride, right? Because that's what you're there for. You're the best of the best representing this country. You're there for a reason. You're not there because you're there to get your point across in a protest. There's a time and place for everything. That's something my late great aunt Clementina Reed taught me when I was a young boy, that I still practice as a man. I was about to call myself a young man, but hell, I'm a kind of call me a middle-aged man now. But it's just something that just goes without being said, right? There's a time and place for everything. And I'm not going to give her a pass because she's 21. She doesn't know better. Nah, I can't give you that because, see, here's the thing. There's a lot of young athletes that are representing this nation. There's a lot of 21-year-olds out there that are black also, that are also white, that are also Hispanic, that are also representing this nation, that also would like to protest, that also are not fond of the state that we find ourselves in as a nation, right, at this particular moment. But they also understood the context, right, of the moment that they're in, the place that they're in. And that wasn't the place to not acknowledge your nation's national anthem. Now, listen, I draw a line in the sand. If you don't like being here, right? If you don't like this country, you ought to leave. You ought to leave. And let me tell you something, whatever country you go to, best believe they're not perfect either. So you might not like everything that goes on there too. So if you're looking for a place to just be the paradise or the Garden of Eden, you're not going to find it here on Earth. If you're looking for a place where you can just exist and everything is just peaches and cream and, you know, cheesecake. Well, the only reason I mentioned cheesecake because I like cheesecake. So I think when I'm eating cheesecake, everything is right with the world. So I just, you know, I just don't feel like, you know, I have a care in the world when I'm eating cheesecake because I'm just comatose to everybody else around me, at least when I'm eating it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, look, man, we got our issues here in America. Nothing's perfect here. We got a lot of things we still got to work out, of course. But when you're representing this country, you represent this country. You're not going to disgrace this country. Black, white, whatever denomination, whatever gender you want to make up tomorrow and claim that exists, you're going to represent this country the way it's supposed to be represented. And she did not. And she got a hell of a lot of backlash for it. But what's very interesting is that some people in the black community decide to defend her. Defend her. And listen, man, you have the right to protest. I also want to make that fundamentally clear. Just like I have the right to freedom of speech, like I say all the time at the end of my podcast, hey, protect my right to freedom of speech because I'll protect yours. Absolutely right. That's what's in the Constitution, and I will not persuade you to not do what's in it. That's your right. That's your right. But again, you have to think about the optics. But also, not only the optics, you also got to think about the blowback and the repercussions that's going to come due to whatever you decide to do. And that was so anti-American, for her not to cross her heart, for her to turn her back and to have that photo captive there for the entire world to see. A black athlete, somebody that's supposed to be so promising. She doesn't love her country enough to even cross her heart and to go along and sing the national anthem. It's a disgrace. And I personally feel I don't want folks like that representing me. Now, I don't have nothing against her. I don't know her. She probably could be or grow into be a great young woman at some point in time. She's only 21 years old. But then again, when I was 21, I was a bit more mature than the average 21-year-old. And I'm not comparing myself to her or anyone else. But then again, I wasn't a goddamn Olympian either. So, I mean, the pressure that this young woman is probably under is probably immense. She's probably never dealt with this kind of attention ever in her life. And she's probably folding. You got a lot of grown, middle-aged folks like my age that fold under pressure. I get it. But folding under competition is one thing. Being respectful of the nation in which you live in is completely avoidable. And it's completely a different thing. And I'm not going to let her be able to get a pass by that. I'm not going to give her a pass for that. And again, how much of an idiot do you have to be suspended from the Olympic team for testing positive for THC? Now, I get it. All across the nation, look, it's most states, it's legal, right? Marijuana is legal. It's a legal drug. You can walk down the street, smoke it. Cops can't pull you over, harass you, right? They can just tell you, hey, look, stay on the sidewalk. That's all they can say. But you're an Olympian athlete, right? You have trainers. You've trained for years. You've gotten yourself to this point of recognition. You've won so many contests to where you can be considered one of the elite at your particular field. Why would you not think that this would be something that would come and bite you in the ass? You know that they test you. They have to test you. They're going to test you more than they test the average athlete that isn't an Olympian. So why would you think that this would be the smartest thing to do? But then again, no one asks those questions. Everyone's, or at least most people, are making excuses. Oh, she's young. She apologized. But that doesn't mean, just because one apologized doesn't mean that the receiver has to accept the apology. Like, people got to understand that, right? I can apologize for doing something wrong to somebody. But if the person that the wrong has been done to doesn't accept it, I have to just accept that shit. I can't then get mad because they don't want to accept my apology. No, that's within their goddamn right to not accept. Period. And the rules are clear. You can't smoke weed along with other illicit drugs and steroids, things of that nature. But for this particular one, it's weed. It's preventable. And on so many levels, you've thrown away a great opportunity. Like, listen, we don't know. She's 21 years old. She's still got an entire life ahead of her. She can recover from this and recoup and then be brilliant, right? Hopefully. My thing is, you got to live for the moment, though. You got to live for now. This is the opportunity that's been presented at your doorstep. This is probably the only opportunity you might get to blow. You ever heard that song, Eminem, Lose Yourself? I forget the lyrics, so I'm not going to play myself and try to rap the lyrics to that song because I don't remember them. But the premise of the song is, look, man, in that moment, in that time, in that space, you got the opportunity to show what you about. You got to show it. You got to show up. She didn't show up. She was too selfish to not show up. And to deduce it as, and to chalk it up to, well, I'm not perfect. Well, hell, I'm not perfect. I can tell you that right now. I go to the gym every other damn day. Every other damn day, I'm drinking a soda too. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, you see what I'm saying? Make an excuse for the reason for me to drink the damn soda, even though I'm going to the gym every damn day. I should not be drinking the damn soda if I'm looking to seek the results that I'm looking to seek. But that's a very minimal, a municipal scale thing that I'm mentioning here. I'm not a goddamn athlete. You are. You're the Olympian. You're black. You don't get, right, allegedly what you guys say, a lot of opportunities that other races of people get. So therefore, when you think that when you get the opportunity such as this one to perform to the highest level, you will then do that? But no, you fold. You fold. And then you go on Twitter to tweet you're human? It's crazy. And I understand she wasn't competing when she consumed the cannabis. I totally understand that. But the point is, you got to have enough common sense to understand that, hey, look, I can't do that. You can't. People are counting on you to perform. This is a banned substance. Again, this isn't like a performance enhancing drug, right? I'm not going to compare it to something of that nature, but it's still a banned drug. If you don't got any self-control now at 21 while you're a goddamn Olympian, what kind of self-control are you going to have over yourself when you're 30? Huh? That's what folks got to ask. What kind of control are you going to have? Cannabis carries a maximum 4-year ban in this particular sport. But of course, it can be reduced to a maximum of 3 months if an athlete completes the substance abuse treatment program. But the ban can also be further reduced to only 1 month if they choose to. So she might get a break here. We don't know. But my thing is, why be this basic? Why be this basic? And I'm going to go into a lot of the reason why I say why be this basic, because there's a lot of things that she said in her response to explaining why she did decide to use the cannabis. And I want you guys to hear it. And I'm going to play that right now.
I would like to say to my fans, and my family, my sponsorship, to the haters too. I apologize as much as I'm disappointed. I know that when I submit a track, I don't represent myself. I represent a community that has shown me great support, great love. And to y'all, I failed y'all. And so I apologize for the fact that I didn't know how to control my emotions or deal with my emotions during that time. And to the and when I would just leave with my fans, or I would just leave out there is that, like I tweeted and said yesterday, I'm human. We're human. My statement, what I say in my interviews, I want to be as transparent as possible with you guys, whether it's good, whether it's bad. But when it comes to Chakirra Richardson, it's never been a steroid. It will never be a steroid attached to the name Chakirra Richardson. The charge and what the situation was marijuana. I'm not encouraging anybody to do it. I'm not saying, oh, don't do it or anything like that. But if you choose to do things in your personal time or things like that, you just should know or beware of the consequences, or just know, or just find different ways to just cope or do what it is that will make you feel better. But sitting here, I just say, don't judge me because I am human. I'm you. I just happen to run a little faster. I understand there's going to be people that still have something to say that don't necessarily understand. And I wouldn't even call them haters if they want to choose to show their character of a person, even after me saying what I've said, and putting myself out there, then that's just on you, your character, and you have to live with that. But I greatly appreciate being able to tell my side of the story. And like I said to my fans, my family, my sponsorship, and the haters, I greatly apologize if I let you guys down, and I did. And I just want to let y'all know this will be the last time the Olympics don't cheat Chakirra Richardson, and this will be the last time the U.S. Doesn't come home with the gold medal in 100.
You know,
And there you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth herself. My thing, what I find most puzzling, is that in your explaining why you decide to use marijuana, you decide to mention the haters. You decide to mention why people will decide to judge you and feel the way that they feel about you. Well, you've given them the ammunition to feel the way that they feel about you. If you didn't do the things that you've done, if you couldn't control yourself, right? And listen, stop making excuses. That's a part of being an adult. You don't make excuses for things that you do. You chose to smoke weed. And to mention that, well, you're not going to condone people that smoke weed, or you're not going to tell people not to smoke weed. Well, that's what you should be doing. Especially you being in the position that you're in as a young black woman who's clearly talented. You should want to let other athletes that are not black, but that are also black, that, hey, look, don't do what I did. Don't fall to the things that I fell to. Don't give in to them. It's not worth it. There's other avenues and releases of vows that you can, subject yourself to when you're stressed, when you're under immense pressure, other than smoking weed. I think that was an opportunity that she missed, that she could have possibly, reached out and done immense mentoring to at that moment. But she failed to, because she made it about her. She made it about her haters. She made it about, what she's not going to do. And again, I get why a lot of people don't like her. And my thing as a black man, right? Like, appearance is everything. When I step outside my home, and I get it, right? I'm an older guy. But when I step outside my home, I don't step outside my home any kind of way, looking any kind of way, right? I like myself to look tidy. I like myself to look kept. I like myself to look presentable. I represent myself in a certain way. And you're an Olympian. And you look at all the other athletes that are competing out there. No one else has blonde hair, big giraffe eyelashes. Like, what are you doing? You're doing too much big ass fingernails. You're an athlete. You're taking away from all your talent by distracting people from appreciating your talent for who you are. Be you. You're 21. It's far too often that I see young women like her try to look like the basic black woman here in America. And the basic black woman is not the basic black woman you want to inspire to be. We see far too many basic black women walking the street today that become nothing. And she's attempting to be one of them. Even with all of her talent, she can't get away from that culture, can't get away from that mindset of thinking, that train of thinking. And it's sad. It's sad that she had to mention that she can't control her emotions. And I've said it time and time again, whether it's in my podcast, whether it's in my YouTube videos, that black women have a fundamental issue when it comes to controlling their emotions. That's something that they're not taught at home, whether they're coming from single parent homes or they're coming from dual family homes with a mother and a father. Their emotions are going to supersede how they feel about anything at that moment. It's going to override everything. And it could be detrimental and it could be positive. But most of the time, it's always going to be detrimental to them. And I say it time and time again. Self-control, self-discipline. If you have enough discipline to become an Olympic athlete, to train your body, to eat right, you got to get the proper sleep, you got to get the proper nutrition, you got to be dedicated. Why you can't show that same kind of discipline and dedication to your emotions? Why you can't show that same kind of discipline and dedication to your life and what you want for yourself and your future? It just doesn't add up to me. And then to blame it all and to deduce it as, well, I'm human. You don't get to make that excuse. Others make that excuse for you. The only thing you can do at that moment is to own up to what you did. I'm wrong. I shouldn't have did it. It won't happen again. But you don't get to have that built-in narrative, built-in excuse and say, well, look, I'm human, so therefore don't judge me. You're going to be judged. And I want folks to be encouraged to understand, make mistakes, but learn from them. But also make mistakes and don't point the finger. Because I heard a lot of finger pointing there. And maybe it's just me. She's from Houston, Texas, or from Texas. I don't believe what part of Texas she's from, because Texas is a very large state. Take it from me, I hear a lot of that same ghetto cadence that I hear from the typical black women in those ghetto communities. I'm picking up that same ghetto basic black woman mentality from this Olympic athlete. Just because, and I'm sure you guys heard this phrase before, you can take somebody out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. You can't take the ignorance out of them. You can't take that culture, that mentality out of them. That's permeating all across this woman. That's permeating all across this young lady. And maybe she does grow. Who knows? She's 21, right? I don't want to seal her book or seal her growth as a person, because I wouldn't want no one to seal my growth as a person. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. But somebody need to get in her ear. Somebody that loves her, that's in her camp. Need to let her know, no. If we're going to move on to bigger and better things, you're going to have to conduct yourself and carry yourself in a completely different manner. You're not from any 9th Ward or 8th Ward or any community that you represent. No, you're representing a nation. So therefore, there's a certain type of character that you have to show at all times. And I don't give a damn how tough it is to show that character. I don't give a damn how challenging it is to be that way. If you want to be here in this field, if you want to be successful here in this realm, the people here that control this realm, they're not going to accept anything less than what they accept. And they're not going to accept someone with an attitude that she has, because if you look at her, you can just see an attitude written all across her face. If you watch that video, which also, by the way, you can watch at Black Talk Today on YouTube, which is my YouTube channel, of course, where I put that video up of her giving that very same response to that question. And you can just see her chin is up. She looks very, dismissive, like she doesn't have a care in the world. And people pick up on that. Other coaches of people pick up on that. Hell, if I can pick up on that and I'm a black man, what makes you think other people that want to support her, let alone sponsors? Why would I have a woman up there that has this kind of demeanor to sponsor any of my product? Why would I want to invest in somebody that can't control themselves, that have admitted that they can't control themselves? If you can't control yourself before you're about to compete at the Olympics by not smoking weed, well, what makes me think as a sponsor that I can then invest $1 million into you and you can control yourself after I've invested $1 million into you? That's not a bet or an investment I would like to gamble on. But again, she has that basic aura, basic black woman mentality that permeates throughout the black community. And it's a very unfortunate mentality to have because we know where that leads. It doesn't lead anywhere fast. It doesn't lead anywhere great. And the most unfortunate part about this too is not many black people are going to hold her accountable for what she did. They're going to make excuses for her. If you go across the internet right now, I guarantee even if it's a podcast, a black podcast that you're probably listening to other than mine, or if you're listening to any kind of entertainment that's on YouTube or any other formal platform of entertainment, and it's not black. Now, I can't exclusively say all, but for the most part, they're not going to hold her accountable like I'm holding her accountable here. They're not going to ask the questions or say the things that I'm saying here and be critical of the things that she's done and said here. They're not going to do that. It's all about, well, no, she's black. They're against her. They're going to make excuses for her. They're always looking to bring somebody down. They're looking to tear her down. No, it's not about somebody always tearing you down. It's about you just being honest with yourself to be better. And the only way you can be better if you're honest with yourself. I told you guys many times before in my other podcasts. You can bullshit everybody else. You can bullshit the entire world. But there's one person that you can't bullshit. You can't bullshit yourself at the end of the day. And I think far too many of us continuously bullshit ourselves. And that's why we have a community that we have today in the black community. You have a community of people who are not in touch with reality. And the reality is this woman was very disrespectful when the national anthem was being played, and she still doesn't understand why people have a disdain for her or don't have an interest in her and feel like she shouldn't be a representation of the United States at any Olympic trial. She still doesn't grasp that. And there's people in the black community that still won't grasp that. They will immediately go towards race. Well, they don't like me because I'm black. They don't like me because I have blonde hair. They don't like me because I'm wearing nails. They don't like me because I got these big ass giraffe eyelashes. You look like a clown. You might as well get the size 20 feet and run with them shits too while you're at the Olympics too. Because everyone's laughing. All that shit is not necessary. And I think at the end of the day, there needs to be people that's telling her that. All that shit, extra shit is not necessary. And just because you're black don't mean that you need to support somebody that's black that carries themselves like that. We're all not monolithic in our thinking. We all don't feel the same way, and you shouldn't have to be. And if I don't, I shouldn't have to be railroaded because I'm a black person and I'm being critical of another black person. And black people should have an issue with me because I'm being critical of another black person, but yet you're fine when I'm critical of white people. You're fine when I'm critical of Spanish people, but when the minute I'm critical of black people and because I'm a black person, I should not be? Think about the logic of that. But that's the logic that a lot of black people have. And it's a damn shame. There's a lack of critical thinking skill when it comes to this race. I have to admit that. I can't just keep overlooking that because it's the elephant in the room. In a lot of cases, in a lot of situations, not just this one, when it comes to police shootings, when it comes to things of that nature, and I'm not saying all of them lack critical thinking, but a lot of them you'd be like, damn, why can't you just comply? Well, why can't you just do what you're told? I did a podcast also as well last week about the dude that shot the cop down in Florida. All the cop asked the dude was for, simple answers. Hey, do you live here? Stay in your car. Stay in your car. Ask the guy to stay in his car, Othell Wallace. Ask Othell Wallace to stay in his car several times. Just stay in your car, my man. Don't get out. The officers, stay in your car, man. I'm just trying to figure out if you live here. Officer even went as far to say, hey, I'm going to explain to you why I'm making contact with you, but I need you to stay in your car. He couldn't even follow those directives because there's a lack of critical thinking skills there. And it just goes to show. It's just, I don't know if it's an inherent thing. I don't think it's a genetic thing, but I think it's a community-based thing. I think it comes down to, it depends on the particular communities you come from. If you come from shitty communities where that's not a priority, where life is not valued, where common sense isn't valued, well then I guess you can't expect the people there to think of any common sense because they clearly don't exhibit that. And you telling me a 21-year-old woman that's about to go to the Olympics in Tokyo and represent this nation doesn't know better on her off time not to smoke weed, doesn't know that cannabis is a banned substance? At this particular moment in life, you would want to chance your opportunity to be more than what you are, to be recognized as a athlete that represented this nation at its highest level, to get sponsorships and lucrative opportunities where you can make generational wealth from your family. You would want to chance that. You would want to blow. I take it from me. That's like getting the opportunity to hit the lottery. That's like getting a really good, a 50-50 chance of being able to hit the lottery. If I can get a 50-50 chance of being able to win the lottery, I'm not gonna blow that for anyone or anything. Nothing's gonna get in the way of me being able to get that opportunity. I'm not gonna give that up. But again, the excuses mount so large, they're so tall at this point in time they can build a mountain. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. Again, I hope she recovers. I hope that this is a learning lesson for her. She's 21 years old. Again, when I was 21, I was a bit more mature. I was a bit more aware. But then again, at 21, I was a father. So I was a working man with responsibilities, right? Trying to raise a child. And so my plight in life was a hell of a lot different than hers at 21. But she needs to get people in her camp that can talk some common sense to her and get her to understand who she is and the opportunity that she has and to rise above this basicness, right? Be better than that. Actually be greater than that. And I believe she can. But you got to let all this blonde hair go. You got to let all them nails go. You got to let all them giraffe eyelashes go. Let all that dumb shit go. That's only a hindrance to you. Because the more successful you are, the more you're going to brush shoulders with people who don't look like you. And those are the people who are going to give you the opportunities. Those are the people that are going to invest in you. So if you don't change your character, if you don't change your presence, if you don't change your demeanor that you're giving off, and you're only giving this off through the goddamn internet, and I'm picking this up from you, imagine what you'll be giving to those people that are going to be giving you those opportunities in person. They're going to be looking at you like, no, give a damn how fast she runs. I'm not going to invest my time and my wealth in that. It doesn't come off as well learned or well understood. So listen, like I said, there's a lot of negative energy going around towards her right now. This podcast isn't meant to be that. This is a constructive, positive, loving podcast, right? I got to speak honest and real. Also, I have a daughter that's close to her age range. And, I'm like, look, I don't, you got to be better than that. And like I said, all is not lost for her. And I just, again, sky's the limit. But don't let the limit be the sky. But it's all going to be up to her. Whether she figures that out in her mind first. Because she got the physical traits and the abilities to be great and to open doors. But she got to unlock her mind and realize that she got to be better than that. Guys, I'm Troy. This is Black Talk Today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast here. I appreciate it. Follow me. Follow me here at Podbeam. Follow me also, right, at Apple Podcasts. Also, you can follow me on YouTube, right, at Black Talk Today. That's where I do my live videos. It'll be appreciated if I see a few of you guys over there. Until next time, peace.